The Heinz plant in Leamington is closing after more than 100 years. One worker says people were yelling and throwing chairs after employees were told the ketchup plant would close in the middle of next year. More than 700 full-time jobs will be lost, along with about 500 seasonal jobs. The company has offered severance packages to those workers who stick it out to the end. Leamington is going to lose about $1 million in tax revenue, and tomato growers across southern Ontario will be affected. So we're going to talk more about the Heinz plant closure right now with business and financial expert Nick Bontis. Nick, thanks for coming in tonight. What does this really say about the manufacturing sector in Ontario?
It's a sad day. I mean, there's only one word for this, is devastation.
Definitely.
This is a devastating piece of news here. We're talking about 700 employees. I mean, the population of Leamington is only 28,000, so that town in particular is going to get really hit hard. But there's three reasons why this happened. Number one, our looney's been at parity for a very long period of time, and which makes our exports more expensive. So a lot of ketchup buyers in the U.S. were paying top dollar. Number two, with regards to CPP and wages, they're just too expensive, and that's going to be very, very problematic. And number three, the energy bills. We got to work on the government in helping us actually curb our manufacturing processes with energy, because that's what's causing them to be very, very expensive and not being able to make a profit at the end of the day. So in the end, Nick, we're talking about a devastating piece of news, and it's not just the 700 people at the plant. There's also growers and local farmers and greenhouses. It's going to be the whole region that's going to get hurt here.
Yeah, the impact on that is going to be felt quite wider than just those employees, like you said. The PS4 went on sale at midnight, in fact, last night, the Sony long-awaited PS4. What does it say about Sony? Is this a good start? It's right ahead of Christmas, so the timing is good.
Well, good start. It's been a while, Nick, since you and I talked about the console wars, but the console wars continue. Of course, we've got Sony this week, Microsoft Xbox next week. It's a very, very slick machine, a lot of sellouts all over the place, so as expected, a lot of people want to line up and grab the latest and greatest from Sony. Two things in particular that they concentrated on with regards to the strategy here: socialization and personalization. So socialization means that you can actually stop a game in the middle of a game and actually use social networks to actually give video highlights to your friends on Facebook and Twitter. And personalization in that you will have very, very strong controls in terms of your own report card, your own performance mechanisms, tracking your performance across all the world and all the other people that you like to play with online. So there's only a couple of dozen games that are out now, but we know that typically the supply of games is very low when you have a new console, but that's going to rise significantly. And of course, it's got all the bells and whistles: fast processor, memory, voice recognition, all the cool stuff.
Looks like a lot of socializing in the lineups last night, waiting to buy the new PS4. But let's move on here. We can't let you go, Nick, without talking about Mayor Rob Ford this week. One company is trying to sort of associate with Rob Ford, while another is trying to distance itself. Let's play an ad right now, which is from Spirit Airlines in the United States. They're offering cheaper flights, and as you see in this commercial here, about to start running, they're saying, we're not smoking crack. They're offering $30 flights, actually to the Niagara Falls airport, and they're saying, this is a real sale deal. So they're connecting with Rob Ford, or at least alluding to him. Is this a smart strategy? On this side.
I think this is awesome, actually. I mean, it's the buzz. It's what we're talking about. This particular company right now is advertising airlines. We're talking about right now giving them free advertising, Nick. And let's face it, a flight for $29 to get to anywhere near Toronto, that's a pretty good thing. Now, the photo image doesn't look like Ford. It looks a little bit like Ford. It almost looks like a little bit like Alfred Hitchcock, to be completely honest. But the reality here is that particular company, Spirit Airlines, has used political debacles in the past for its advertising campaign. So this is not the first time they're doing it, and I think we're going to see more of this in the next few weeks.
So it hasn't hurt them. Let's on the flip side, though, Ford Motor Company, Rob Ford was signing Ford Nation shirts a couple of weeks ago. They've gone to the step of, I believe, taking some legal action against the mayor using the Ford Nation and that logo, right? And
therein lies the difference. They say all advertising is good advertising, but you got a young, small, upstart airline trying to gain market share versus a large, multinational, behemoth corporation trying to distance themselves. So everybody's going to take their own tact.
All right, Nick, thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here this week, and quite a few stories to get to.